Alright peeps, welcome back to Cavey, episode 4. We've got a bad tide imminent, so there's a few things we need to do. First of all, 24 workdays beavers. Are there any beavers? Any beavers. Any berries not going to put that one picked up? We need to get a berry flag over here, get these on the gun. We pick these berries up here. Oh, I can see some berries over here. And the medium tank's in! Hell yeah! Alright, right, medium tank, that means delete all of these. We didn't want to be wasting wood in here. And I'm tempted to get this bad lad deleted as well. So when I unpause this gatherer flag, oh, we can't see it anyway. But that doesn't mean I can't install another gatherer flag here, get that built with a maximum priority, and delete this. Then we can get that berry. Alright, any more berries that need to be picked up? Because I have a horrible feeling that when this bad tide rolls around, it's gonna be entire map deed. And we got no builders. So let's pause our plankers and coggers. And sure, we still have beavers picking up all the kohlrabies they can. I didn't want to see a single deed dried up kohlrabi here. Oh, you know what I need to do here? Oh, that's right. I installed the mod that consolidates this big ball. Now I just need to figure out where. There we are, under staircases. Plop a ladder on there like that. And that's only so we can chop down and dynamite that bit of block there. How are our jobs? Do we have berry pickers? Are you picking berries? Is that all the berries you can see? Not necessarily, but once you get your grubby beaver mitts off this berry here, I'm going to unpause you. What builder? Oh, there was a builder hammering away there, and that was the only reason I was going to unpause. And there's no reason for this berry picker to be a job now anyway. Get paused. Aye, turn yourself around and go and put those berries in the berry hoose at the back there. Oh, and if you're thirsty, slurp a bit of water up straight away. Oh, 0.1 days. This is scurry. This is too scurry. You need to get on with that. And a builder beaver needs to hurry up and finish building the last half of this, man. There's 4 of them sitting in there. He's got to do something. Oh, delete this. That's one of those things we didn't need, and it's been taking up builder's time, hasn't it? Alright, our only maximum priority job here is this bloody berry picker. Well, I guess it's time to resume for the last 0.1 days. Hopefully this is a big builder beaver here with a hammer about to smash this good old big berry picker in. And then ideally become a berry picker themselves and quickly pick this berry that's doing here. Go on. Ah, nah, different berry picker. Oh, here we are. Change of the tides. Let me get an angle. And here we are. It's our first bad tide. The waterfalls are running red. Including that one doing the left there that you can see, which is the 3rd fall. Tell you what, didn't take them long to run red, did it, like? And how's the drying effect going to be? Oh, I'm scared. It's a 12 day bad tide as well. Oh no. Beaver, slip up all the water you can. And let's see, what's the bloody drought like? Oh no. Not the drought, the contamination. Look at it. It's just slowly but surely eating all of our global land. It's all gone in. It's gone in away and it's not coming back. Beavers, I need you to be picking up these little kohlrabies up here before they get contaminated, like. Oh no. Wait, I'll bring them back to an 18 hours before I forget. And are these even doing anything at this point? Is I getting some water for now? We'll leave yous running, maybe for the rest of the day. And what have we got? 808 water and 1.3k food. All I can say is I hope that's enough to see we're through. And now we didn't need ye running anymore, Mr. Forester. We didn't need ye anymore, Mr. Berry Picker. And we didn't need ye anymore, Mr. Berry Picker. So we should have 4 workers in these science huts here. They builders though. But that's alright, because we'll be pausing all of these water pumpers fairly soon, I can imagine. Alright, so it's about as bad as I imagined. Well, this is somehow still green. There must be a little pocket of good water knocking about. Oh yeah, you can see the water sources there. And as we come back, it dips off to the left again doing the waterfall. But there's a little bit here that's not fully contaminated. But it will be very soon. And all of this green kohlrabies will be straight up. At least I've got 4 farmers knocking about, digging them up. Now I have a feeling, right, we're going to be in desperate need of some food when this 12-day bad tide's over. So, I'm going to go ahead and pop another farm house down. Now that is a maximum priority jobber. I tell you what, I'm happy we've got all the berries, like. That the berries are, you know, precisely what we need to repopulate this place. Now I do have 2 sprogs ready to pop here. And I may do some emergency pausing on these 2. Or at least one of them. Reminders on to emergency pause this a bit later on when I'm flapping. Well, I guess all we can do now is just rest and recover with old babe Beaver here. Overlooking the wee Cavey map. Well, you're not necessarily overlooking it when you got your eyes shut, kipping, are you? But there's not all that much we can do at the moment, is there? I do want to get this farmhouse up. That'll be 12 logs. We can start deleting some of these as and when we need to, but we do still have things knocking about on the floor, like a couple of planks. And to get those planks up and running, we're going to have to get a million things, wasn't it? You know what, I'm just going to build a small industrial pile, pick up those planks. There you go. Small industrial pile, get that up in priority for the plank storage. Well, actually, no, there's plank storage over here, isn't there? Oh, yeah, no, alright, they can stay on the ground until that's bloody used up. You know what, I just spied? There's some berries here, and if we can get there in the next 8.9 days, we could be onto something, like. And as we get up here, we can start chopping some trees. Well, speaking of, actually, can I not just pop a bloody lumberjack up here? Where that little forest, where that little warehouse was gonna go. There you can. And you can chop down these trees up here. Oh, I was going to say these trees aren't going to get to grow, I can guarantee you that. Look at that. Got to speed 3 and that red ball just fly up. And it dies due to contamination. Like the rest of them there. Rest of them. Oh, no, that means this is... Yeah, no, alright. Let's not prioritise any of these ladders above what they already are, because this blueberry's about to dry out and die due to contamination as well. Ah, you exhausted beavers? That's all good. I think it's time to wait for the morning and say, "Good morning, beavers!" Although a lot of them are still kipping away because they fell out exhausted and need to catch up on a bit of kip. But look at them, man. Passed out farmers. I think the passed out farmers can be paused, to be fair. Let's pause these. Now we should have flower workers in the worker house and flower inventors in the inventor house. Still need our flows though. Although there might be once we get a beaver in here and decide that it's not doing anything anymore. Oh, would you look at this? We got our beaver chopping down the trees. Why don't we watch him just demolish this whole plateau up the top here? And look at that. He got it in just before clock off a clock. At least I'm... Oh, no, little bonus tree. But he started it before clock off a clock, so does that mean he takes it in? And that's his job done, I believe. I think this is one of the seedlings that never grew. And I don't think there's anything else to cut over here. Nah, nought else to cut. Well, that means it's time for a scavenger flag. Just the one for now. Just there, you know. And since this berry bush has graciously dried up on us, we can actually put a path on there. Ready for our big excavation pit, eventually. Ah, good. None of these have been built yet. I'm happy with that. I want to pause this production and just use it as sort of storage. So we've got 10 gears stored up in there, for example. The one good thing about the Badtide, though, the gear production and the plank production can continue as normal, because we've got heaps of power. And all of that bonus power is thanks to our beaver's clever little bit of engineering, which I can't click on. The levee wall down the back there. I say previously the river flowed out of all 5 of these blocks, but we levied up here, forcing it down to 2. And sped it up significantly. We actually over doubled the output of this water wheel here. We have 8 logs. We're not going to be growing any trees for a while. For quite some time. If we get this ladder in, we'll have access to a handful of oaks there and a pine. So I think that should be a maximum priority jobby. This second-hand maximum priority jobby. And that looks fairly reasonable. We can save another beaver's workplace here. Pause E. Oh, and these will be doing now. Actually doing out. Right, pause all our water pumpers. Now we've got haulers. Oh, we can pause these now. I'm glad these are built though. That hauler just admiring the dried up, corrupted green. Do you reckon these berries are going to last 6.1 days? And no, that would be a no. These berries are not going to last at all. We're going to have 0 berries unless... Yeah, we're going to have 0 berries. Right, how long are we going to need? Right, pause, and I'm flapping, I'm starting... Oh, I kept me cool too long. Right, I need to pause this breeding pod. Because my thing... Oh, yes, look, we've got beavers in here now. Right, we're actually getting a bit of wood in there. That's great. Once we get this ladder up, that's another 8 bits of wood. Which is less than what it takes to get it up and running, to be fair. Maybe we hold out on that. Just for now. So anyway, these are 14 days before we get any berries. And that's assuming we get 14 days of no bad tides or anything. Because that just wipes the berries out. We have 532 kohlrabis, 22 beavers, for 9 days. I think we're going to be cutting it really fine on the kohlrabies, and that's not even considering the fact that kohlrabies take 3 days to grow. So it's actually 12 days with this 532 kohlrabies. See, the 742 water is mildly concerning, but as soon as the tides change, you saw how quickly those rivers ran red. So they'll run blue again just as quickly. We'll be able to slurp up water. Let's do a wee speedy up bit of this little conga line of beavers gone left and right. There we're gone, it's all paused. You know what, I actually want to see this in speed 4. Are you ready for some wildness, peeps? No, I can't do speed 5 for too long, it gets dangerous. That was good fun though, I must admit. They absolutely whooshed run on speed 5. Wait, how are we doing here? Up the priority, yep. So we haven't finished building this, so that is grand. I think as these empty... No, we don't delete them yet until we got 0 logs, which I just clocked up as I was saying that. Oh, we have 0 logs. Now we will be planting lemon trees at least. Actually, speaking of planting things, prioritise resource, blueberries. We need those in straight away. And then ideally, if I could do a second priority, it would be these ever blossoms. We've got a scrapper sitting on his arse. I take it you're full? Of course you are. You know what, actually? During this bit, Badtide here, let's go crazy with it. And there we go. It's like nought ever happened, is it? We've just got a little bit more room now on this side. But you know what? Instead of building loads of ladders here, why don't I try and be clever here? Let's see, if I delete this ladder, can this farmhouse? It can, see that! Which was the whole reason I needed that ladder there in the first place, so happy days. We do not need the ladder stack there. Look at the beavers picking up those logs. I'm sure you've got plenty to be doing with it. Oh, how we're doing? I've been in speedy up bits for a bit. We've still got 192 kohlrabies. Look at them, hanging out there at the back. There's even a little bit in the warehouse through the middle there. And we've got 470 water. We're going to be alright for this bad tide, but we need to recover from this bad tide. That's the thing. The tricky thing. But anywho, let me get some staircases in the forms of ladders up there. And that will be a tidy little connection now, won't it? Absolutely lovely little connection. Now I am tempted to just shift this ladder because these are just 2 bits of bloody path that don't need to be wasted. We've already got a ladder here that Gan's doing and connects, so I don't think we need that other ladder on the side. Oh, look at that! We've got a little peek into the water here. Ooh. Ah, you can see, look, it comes underneath that little hour hang there. I probably could have just looked there and saw the less contaminated water earlier on. Oh, but that does mean that this bit's going to stay contaminated that little bit longer, doesn't it? We're going to have to keep an eye on that, like. It looks like all of our berries over here are going to be dried up indeed. So I think it's time to delete this gatherer flag once and for all. They've got nought to do over here. Officially nought to do. You know what, I'm tempted to shift this farmhouse here. Because this farmhouse takes up 4, 5, 6, 7 bits of kohlrabi growing ground. But if I put a farmhouse here, suddenly it's only taking up 4 bits of ground. So why don't we delete this, get risky with it, and build this, beavers, with a maximum priority. Oh, please tell us you haven't built any of these yet. Oh, fantastic. Fan-bloody-tastic. Look at all of those storages we have set up. Absolutely lovely. So beavers, build that. You're going to need a bonus 5 logs from somewhere. And I reckon those logs are going to come from up here, where these are empty. Because I can afford to delete 10 small tanks for every medium tank I have built. And as you can see, we have resources here to easily smash this other medium tank in. Oh, morning, beavers! Any builders going to run across me little field division here? Finish off building this little bad lad? Go on, hammer it in, you big beaver legend. And there we have another farmhouse ready to go in 2 days. And that means we can plant kohlrabies over here. And over here where all of these berry bushes have died up. Become kohlrabi field. There we go, and we've got a bit more storage on the growth now, haven't we? It's not too bad. But we need to start thinking about how we can harness this bad tide, because with this being a teeny weeny 32 by 32 map, it doesn't have any bad water sources. Which is, of course, a good and a bad thing. Oh, I just realised we've got the lumberjack flag running for absolutely no reason and all. There's no trees to be chopped, laddie. Be a hauler. Be useful. You know what? Let's get this priority up, because I really want to get these platforms in. So I can get another little industrial pile on the top layer like that. Now, 1.7 days left. I'm going to unpause this breeding pod. And we should see a babby pop out of there in no time. There he is! It's Bobby Rozzy! Look at them gone. Oh, these are going to be the fields that you're going to be planting kohlrabies in 7 days, Bobby Rozzy. Like that, we've got our one scavenger diligently picking away the last 4 scrap metal. With only 3 bits of scrap storage left. We're going to have to do one final deletion of this little pod. We're going to have huge stacks of scrap metal knocking about. Look at that, 111 sitting there on the path. You know what I'm thinking with all these planks we've got stored up knocking about? It might be time to delete this deep water pub. Get into a fancy new platforms tab here. Plop a triple down there. Whipping out an F to flip so it connects straight into the path there, giving us an extra 3 bits of kohlrabi growing ground. And beavers, build that with an absolute quickness. And I'll even magic you up some resources. You ready? Magic resources from the building storage. Now I learnt from last episode, carefully get the rubble out the way before you replace the tank. Otherwise you might find yourself missing some items. We'll have that as a higher priority than these two so it can start storing materials. But not as high as a priority as this one, so it doesn't end up getting the materials chucked right back in it. And what are you building, buddy old pal? Oh, you're storing! My bad, my bad. Look at me thinking the beavers off building something I didn't ask them to do. The beavers always do what they tell you. It's just usually you've told them to do the wrong thing. And you know what? With 1.3 days remaining, why didn't we have ourselves a tidy little speedy up bit until the river runs blue once again? Do you clock that beaver hanging out with his head out on the Red River? It's a funny little song. Oh, and here we are. We're slipping up nice, clean, fresh blue water. And you know what? I just realised this is all set to go up and I'd rather it just stay down. Just let all the water out first. Look at the green ground. Oh, unpause. Immediately unpause all of these. Desperately need to get all the kohlrabis in. Go, 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 beavers. Right, let's pause our inventors. Builders? Yes, lovely. Right. Unpause the forester. We need them. And we didn't need anyone at this scavenger flag anymore. Look at that lovely green ground. Come, oh, I was going to say, can this forester see it? But you can. But our new farmhouse can see it. You know what? Ideally, if we get these ladders in, we might even be able to plant some crops up the top here now. Look. These survived. I didn't even clock that one strew in the Badtide that they still had pine on them. I guess that's the sacred spot up there, isn't it? This is where you plant all your bushes so they don't die. Unless they dry out for a long time. So we are slipping up water. We're planting diagonal strips of kohlrabi. You know what? Let's have ourselves a kohlrabi planting speedy up bit, shall we? All those kohlrabis getting planted. And for some reason things flooding even though I only put it up to 0.9, which is what it's set to anyway. And we tested it and it doesn't flood. So go away flooding and don't come back. Now, I was wondering why we're not chopping this down, but I would even have a lumberjack flag over here, so let's get that chopped down, and then we can get our third side platform on here, and maybe get doing something. Maybe. So, beaver, chop that oak with those iron teeth. Nice one, beaver! So that should let me, very nicely, because of these little consolidated categories here. Maybe? Does it actually have to be, like, fully gone? The tree has to be fully gone, look at that. Hey, Mr. Forester, do you mind? Oh, you're going to go to sleep, aren't you? Because it's night time. Oh, we got Forester planting. You know what? I wonder at this point, do we just go no prioritising on the resources? Because he's got a handful of blueberries in already. We are starting to eat the blueberries, though, unfortunately. Maybe I can be clever. Unpause these two, and then pause these two when they get to the end. I'll do that. I mean, I've done it now, so we've got birthed sprogs, but, you know, just to sort of keep the berry usage up. Because I know in 3 days we're going to end up with some kohlrabi action. Now today in range, get paused. And that also means I'll be able to pop me tiny little side platform off the edge like that. And like I say, I'm not entirely sure when we're going to get round to building all of this. Because it's quite expensive and we're somewhat limited on resources. You know what? This forester can see up the tippity top here. Why don't I ask them? Okay, I completely forgot about the bloody tall bamboo like. Why don't I ask them to plant grapevines everywhere? And whenever they do get doing to planting in the river here, you see this place is underneath the overhang where we can't plant any extremely tall bamboo. Very clever comment advised, why don't we try planting a little bit of mangroves in those places? So that's what I'm doing. We're mangroving it up all the way in here. That's going to be the mangrove and extremely tall bamboo area. Or at least in between Badtide it will be. You know, for now, while we don't have any dynamite, get a kohlrabi in there. Oh no, I literally just turned the priority down on this beaver. I'd much rather you be plonking your resources into, say, finishing this. Getting another one of these on the gun. I tell you what, I do not like seeing that there's only blueberries left, because that means the beavers are digging into them. That's how we reproduce, and we've got 12 days before any of these happen again. 13 days before we get any wood out with this. I'm basically dreaming for a drought here. If we don't have a drought here, we are hooped, to say the very least. Oh, what am I doing? Kohlrabi's in here, beavers. That's the whole point of deleting that nonsense there. And you know what? Actually, this isn't in yet, is it? Nah, mint. Right, big plan. Delete you, delete you, delete you, delete you. And delete you. Maximum priority picking all that shite up and popping a medium tank right here. Now that's your next maximum priority jobby, beavers. I want a nice tidy medium tank, taking up the same amount of space as those 2 paths and 2 small tanks. That's 300 water storage for the sake of 60. 60. Now I think it's time we start actively working towards our power plan. Ooh, I haven't even seen this. Dev mode power wheels. Look at all that horsepower. My eye, I'll get that on there. It's free as well. I've never actually clicked this. Look at that. That is a dev tool, isn't it? Anyway, let's get dev mode off. I want to be in power generators because we need to be looking at an engine. And engines require metal blocks. That's right, that's right. I'm skipping ahead. Metal smelter. Let's unlock that. 300 science points. Because we do have the resources to an extent for that. And I accidentally planted some kohlrabis where I want this to go. And I'm going to have to not plant anything where that little path was. I mean, I may not have traded this 7-bitter kohlrabi planting area for 4, but I at least traded 6. We're still at a net positive regarding the farmhouse. Just ignore the 8 that I've removed to plant the smelter. And I was thinking about adding a 3rd water wheel in here, but it's a lot of logs. It's 25 logs, and I feel like a 3rd water wheel isn't going to get the same sort of speedy effect here from the water, because it's, you know, 5 wide there when we get to this bit. It's not until this last bit where it's really come and run. Look, you can actually see the current just going down like that, straight out. And if I could plant one on this side here, it might be quick. But I just don't see this water being as fast as that water. I mean, again, you can see that the water's being pulled sideways and then down. So yeah, now anyway, without rambling on too much, I don't think it's going to be worth putting a 3rd one in there. I think we're just going to run at a slight inefficiency when it comes to having a smelter in this little section here. Ooh, tree grow! We got tree grow! We still do have 14 logs knocking about though. How are we doing with this? Nothing! How's done now? Do we even have any builders? I've got 2 builders. You know what we didn't need? A million bloody farmers. Well, let's watch these beavers wake up, carry the water from A to B. Now that mean we've got haulers? It does mean we've got haulers. Yeah, I need to pause these. Good, I don't think I've missed any, but I definitely need to pause 2 of those. We do not have the overabundance of food and water. We don't even have an abundance, never mind an overabundance. I've just decided now, if we get a drought warning, I'm going to change the priority to blueberry. If we don't get a drought warning, then, like, we're hooped anyway, so what does it matter? Alright, back to power. Let's think through the process. We've got everything we need to make the smelter. Then we're going to be getting metal blocks, and that will allow us to get this engine on the go. So why don't we unlock the engine, 400 science points, and plop that down somewhere where it's not going to really affect the growable ground, which I think is going to be the top of this cave here, because it's all our hangs. Now we don't have all the room in the world. I think this might be alright, because then I can send the power up and over and utilise this bit of overhang here. And with the help of some platforms or overhangs, because we've got a block ours right there, we can get some power delivery out the side, maybe some buildings run the back here. I need to start thinking about more efficient food. That's going to be pretty much our next priority once we get metal. And once we've got metal, we can get a deep bad water pump on the gun. Now where would I like this deep bad water pump to go? You know what, I've got a place for it. I want the deep bad water pump to go here, where these water wheels are. At least for now. Because once we get the engine up and running, we're going to be moving this industrial estate up there and getting this green ground back. So let's see about fitting all the necessary buildings up in here. Alright, I think I've got it here. So we've got the engine, that's teeing off here, going along to do this gear workshop. And at some point, I'm going to want to pop a little platform on there, and that will allow me to reroute this path over to this line here and pop a fermenter here. That'll get direct power from the engine. And as for this little step up here, because the power's blocked by the wall there on the side and we don't have dynamite yet, I believe if we go into shafts, we can do an upward power shaft like that. And then we should be able to just do a downward power shaft. That'll just send it into either the smelter or the industrial lumber mill, because the share power there on the side. Or if I wanted to spend loads of science points and resources, I'd put a universal on the top. And one thing I didn't do is figure out if it'll all work off one engine. So we got 400, 200, 320, 395. And then thankfully a fermenter has only 50 horsepower. So you know what, we're just going to be slightly inefficient off this engine here. We're not going to be getting the fermenter in anytime soon anyway, so not too bad. But that is a somewhat, you know, a decently priority job, but that is next level of decently profitable job, so we definitely want to have some sort of priority action on the gun. I also realised when I was colouring everything in there that I didn't think about the rest of this pathway here. Slight rejig. I put the T-intersection in there ready for that, and we're going to have to do a universal power shaft here, so I can go up and into there. And that's just disconnected this building from this one. And that's that rejigged. So now the power guns around the corner and connects these two together, whilst you've got the path, platform and hour doing to there. So new, this should work, probably, mostly, until we have to redo it all to be more efficient, because we will. We're on a tiny little map here, and you never guess where I am, peeps. Have you guessed yet? A treat. I'm inside the medium tank down by the middle of the town, aka Cavey's district centre. Oh, 4 days. We are living our best lives here, aren't we, with 4 days. Now, let's get this lumberjack flag up and running. That'll leave us with 1 hauler still. Let's change this back to obtain goods. And then I'll use this one as a supply goods. We'll see how quickly we can get that filled up. And while we're here doing things with them, let's up the priority of the medium tanks. And see how close are we to getting these kohlrabies grown. 90-odd%. I remember I started doing a little thing over here, didn't we? There we got 97%. And then if you go diagonally, 97, 96. I remember that diagonal line there. It was a fun one to watch get popped in. But Rotsack is busy beavering away, planting all the other blossoms. Look at them, all the way down to the edge of the map there. Oh, hang on. They're 24 days, aren't they? Alright, oh, I did say I was going to wait. Alright, but should I wait? Oh, he's planting the lemon trees, though. Alright, I need to let him plant the lemon trees. I can't stop him planting these bad lads. These are magnificent trees. We're even going to do a wee little speedy up bit. And by speedy up bit, I mean I'm going to press speed 3 until he runs away. Not an actual speedy up bit. But I should actually be looking at these. What should we plant? What should we prioritise? Grapevines are food. That's 14 days and then 5 days. Lemons are 20 and 5. So maybe we should get the grapevines in before we get the lemons in. But I'm a tad apprehensive about the fact that, like, oh, we're starting to get kohlrabies in. Unpause, unpause. Although I do only want to unpause 2 of these. That third unpause there is purely for emergency purposes, aka there's a bad tide incoming. We are doing R-Reet on the water storage front, which is why I want to get this bad lad in. Stop filling that up. And Illa died of old age, which means we didn't have any more of these good old-fashioned haulers. Oh, speaking of things, oh, damn it. Always forgetting these, like always forgetting them. Look at this, man. Look at all the kohlrabies. Should I be efficient though and just have 3 of them on the gun? Still leaves us with a builder, and I don't really need builders right now. All builders are doing is putting resources into minimum priority projects I don't want to put them in. I suppose building that, but there's only 1 more cog needs to gun in there. And that cog's nearly done. You know what, can we follow this cog? Let's do it. There we are, the cog has been made. We should be seeing someone come to pick it up. And where are you going with that cog? It was picked up by a builder. I think it's going to bypass the storage that we've just been waltzed through. We're going to watch him walk all the way up to the tippity top. And hammer that last cog in there. And we will actually, for once, be able to see a medium tank getting built and not miss them like the last 2. Tell you what, day 4, like, I think we're going to get a warning in the next day. It's just about that time, isn't it, Mr. Rotsack? It's just about that time, innit? For it to get a warning. Look at him blinking away. His little eyebrows coming down, meeting his bottom of his eyes. Oh. What next? You gonna do the last of the lemon trees? Literal last of the lemon tree. And what are you gonna do next, Mr. Rotsack? Are you gonna go and slurp a bit of water, eat a bit of food, and then maybe pass out for the night? Oh no, he's gonna become a little happy little hauler. And feed the babbies. Speaking of feeding the babbies, I need to pause at least 1 of these. Well, I need to pause 2, but Yeah, nah. Should I just pause these two again, since they're right next to each other? I'll pause this one, and then I'll unpause it when I pause these two. There we go. Big clever ideas! But I see at least with beavers now have got kohlrabies to eat. We're not absolutely demolishing with storage of blueberries back here. Well, we are compared to how many we're regrowing, but that should change soon. Oh, morning, Bobby Razzie! Look at him! Off like a dart! It must have been Hank Marvin in the morning. Now we've got Bobby Razzie here about to grow up, and the 5th day without a warning. Damn! We are getting lucky here, like, we need to make sure we are slurping up all the water and harvesting all the kohlrabies we can, which is why I've left them all on planting. So hopefully we can be cheeky and get another cycle of kohlrabies out of here. Ooh, we're nearly done on this medium tank as well, which means we should get this tank back up and running, get that hopefully built. And at the next bad tide or drought, I'm going to delete all of these small tanks as they become empty. You know what, I'm feeling a tidy little speedy up bit of all of these kohlrabies getting harvested and planted by these lovely beaver farmers with the hats on. It's here! And it's a drought! It's a drought! Yes! Right, beaver! You're building, prioritising blueberries. Get all the blueberries in, pal! And I take it I'm on a long drought in that case. Oh, like I gambled wrong and I should have put all the blueberries in first, because, yeah, nah. But this does mean we can keep up with the kohlrabies. We can keep growing kohlrabies. We can do all the things. We won't be able to make planks and cogs. That's the one thing we won't be able to do. So since we got 2 of these empty in 3 days until there's a drought, I'm going to delete all these empty little tanks here, which was only 1 to be fair. And we're going to do a tiny little speedy up bit until these kohlrabies are picked. And there we're gone, the kohlrabies are picked, and I forgot to pause the breeding pods. This is going to be what ends up getting me this, is the breeding pods. But anywho, now we can pop our big metal production doon, just in time to not be able to use it. Isn't that nice? But we need to make sure that's our maximum priority build. Not this tank. We need this up and ready. Oh, you know what? Actually, we got nowhere to store scrap metal, have we? Now, why don't we whip a handy dandy small warehouse right here? That's for kohlrabi storage. Maximum priority, please. And then we'll delete this one and replace it with a little scrap metal pile. Oh, you know what I just thought? I definitely should have thought this earlier. To make planks and cogs, we need the water running. So, delete all these small tanks, including the ones down here now. I'm not messing about. I'd much rather have a kohlrabi there. It's like this beaver builder and this water shifter's not messing about either. I keep calling the farmers beaver builders, like, every time. How you planted everything, pal? Nice one. I would like to pause you, like, not gonna lie. But I know for a fact, if I pause him, the second the tree is grown and needs to be chopped down, I'll just not unpause him and it'll never get replanted. Nay, build the beavers! Where did the build the beavers go? It's because Roblox died of old age, innit? Where's Bobby Razzie? He should be growing up soon. Are you Bobby Razzie? Nah. 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 I honestly don't have a Scooby-Doo where Bobby Razzie is. But what I do know is we got these platforms in. And we got the extremely tall bamboo and the mangroves in. Is that the only bit of extremely tall bamboo you can plant? Like for realsies? Is that because I planted all of these? Yeah, why haven't you planted these extremely tall bamboos, pal? It says you can. I wonder if it's because you planted the mangroves first. The comments did say that we need a 2x2 area to grow. And I'd say that's what we've got here. And we had here until this mangrove was planted. Oh, well. Lesson learned, we need to be a bit cleverer. No mangrove there, and no mangrove there. And we'll just get bamboo on the gun whenever we get there. Hang on, did I just plant bamboo underneath the overhang? Can I do that with the override tool? Is that what happened? Yep. Oh no, I need to fix that. Right, look, we're going to have one bit of extremely tall bamboo, and the rest going to be mangroves. At least until the next bad tide just destroys it all. Well, look, we can see our little forester. Eagerly at work there, planting all the mangroves. Oh peeps, I found a tidy little angle here. So up above us is where the water sources actually are. And then we've got 2 of the waterfalls that feed the river, that Gandoon. And we'll be able to see those dry up. Oh look, you can see the water level draining down as the water slows before the inevitable drought. And there it goes. All the way down. The drought has started. It's a tidy little 9 there. That might mean we get some of these, but like, I don't think so. Oh, right! Bloody pause these things! Right, I'm doing it. Speed 4 and pause. Let's unpause the inventors because they are very important. We may as well pause these because there's now for them to do. And now it's just a case of hanging about, surviving through the drought. And ideally picking these up in the next 1.7 days, beavers. And I'd say as long as we keep up on the kohlrabies, we'll be able to make those berries stretch and last for as long as possible. Quick speedy up bit while we let this bar fill up. There we're gone. We finally have 2 of these paused again. That's where I want to be. I don't want to end up overpopulating and then running out of food and water. Particularly food. Especially while we're in the middle of trying to get a bloody industrial revolution on the gun. And how have you still not put scrap metal in here? There's 111 of it there. No storage available. No storage available. My hoop! Pick it up, beavers. No, but seriously, beavers, why aren't you picking this up? No storage available when it is. What about metal? Then scrap metal? Nowadays work? No. Okay. Why aren't you picking up beavers, man? Alright, let me just write. Scrap metal storage. Scrap metal. Scrap metal storage. Scrap metal. Is set to accept goods. Can set to obtain goods. Can set to supply goods. We've got haulers. But it wasn't. It was set to accept goods. And still, no. See, what if I delete this path and then use a handy dandy small warehouse to move that pile? Can it now be picked up? No. Right, now, for testing purposes, once this is deed, which it is, I'm going to pop a large pile down like that, and then say, scrap metal? Can we pick up scrap metal now? Because look, there's 180 storage in there, so that'll carry that 111, no bother, just in case it was like, there's too much here for it to even start picking it up. There, look, it's scrap metal and scrap metal storage right there, and it's just having none of it. I don't know, man, like, I'm ready to just fill warehouses and delete rubble piles at this point. Oh, I was paused. Alright. Let me run the game for a sec, see if it changes, see if you start getting scrap metal picked up. Nah, look, game's running and everything, and it's still saying no storage available, even though there's storage there. So, pause the game, delete this, delete all of that rubble, so we don't gain any extra resources. Look, no wood or anything in here. That was a testy cheat, not a cheaty cheat. And since we tested using that cheat, I can feel happy about going, give all, and then just deleting like 13, 14, and if I delete this 40, I will allow myself to fill this up once more. Which means I've just deleted 50 odd scrap metal here for the sake of 40 scrap metal. Even though I'm technically cheating, I'm definitely experiencing some bullshit, and I'm still robbing myself out of scrap metal. But look at that tidy little build montage there. Back out and in again. If nothing else, that was worth it, wasn't it? Just to see the beavers just flipping around. Look at the teamwork on that, man! It'll be in a neat time. That's assuming I had all the rest of the resources in, which did I? Did I even have enough bloody scrap metal? No. And no. And no. To all 3 of those questions. We can't watch the beaver gun blah 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 blah. At least put the last 10 in. Alright, look, I'm going to give it all, and there we go, there we go, there we go. That's enough of that. I'm not going to touch this 111 scrap, or cheat any more scrap into there, until the next episode. Because I want to see how yous feel about that. Did I just cheat terribly there? Have I run into some sort of bug? Am I doing something stupid, so widely obtuse that I'm making the game not work properly? I'm genuinely curious to know. And if I don't get any sort of feedback in this, I'll do a bit of research myself and decide whether I'm okay with it and continue from there. If nothing else, look, we won't lose the growth on these little lever blossoms here, and I think these blueberries as well, so that's good. If nothing else, we still have that. And you know what I think it might be time for? Depending on what I required. Ooh, it is just planks and logs. I think it might be time for a large warehouse. At least spending the 250 Skynes points unlocking it. And what I'm thinking is, if we pop a medium tank here, we should be able to delete these 2 paths. And I'm going to replace this blueberry storage with kohlrabi storage, because I'm about to delete this warehouse. Ooh, that is too tempting, that like. Alright, sorry, Teeth Grindstone, you're going to have to get shifted elsewhere. But you're there, you're less likely to get in the way there, aren't you? Oh, but that did just make us think. Instead of doing a big warehouse there, I could bring it over 1 more, make it even more expensive, and have it hanging off the edge there. Now that is ultimate efficiency with the path right there. Now that is going to be kohlrabi storage. Or should it? You know what? Nah. Berry storage. Very important storage right there. Maximum priority, beavers. But not until you got those in. So, normal priority with these on high priority. Otherwise, everything will have to be on maximum priority. And you know what, peeps? It's officially time for a proper Spinneroon speedy update for the next 6 days. Until this drought's hour. And there we are. Nice one, MiGly. Man can't count. And as the shadows move, we turn the hood back on. We snap back to reality. Actually, that free cam, there we go. It was just a delayed zoom back, snap back to reality. Turn the fog back on and re-enter Cavey with all of the lovely mangroves fully grown here. Look at those. Ready to produce fruits in no time at all. As well as our lovely little grapevines here. Now, it might be getting close to time. Oh, it is close to doop doop doo! Unpause ye, gather our flag. We got lemons in Cavey. And that does bring up the very important thing of, we definitely have a lemonade stand in Cavey. Now, where do we put a lemonade stand? I kind of want to put the lemonade stand here, you know. I'm doing it. Platforms. One up there. Lemonade stand there. Well worth the science points. Oh, actually, no, what? I should be doing this. I should be pausing these 4 laddies. Oh, that gives us haulers. Do we have all the jobs now? Oh, yeah. I need to unpause these. I was wondering, I was like, hang on, it shouldn't be this easy. I'm pretty sure. Oh, is this in? Bloody hell! That is huge! That is unbelievably tall, like, I can't deny that. Right. Cut trees. Ah, these are all marked for cutting, which I don't mind to an extent. Let's be clever here, how does that look to ease? Because I'm going to move this bamboo over to the left one here. And then I'm going to plant a second one here. And then I should be able to fit a third one here. Because look, there's no overhang there. But there's overhangs blocking the rest of this. So that's all not marked for cutting there. Including this one at the back. So yeah, we should be able to do 3 extremely tall bamboos in here. As well as a handful of bloody mangroves. Oh no! Oh yeah, that happens, doesn't it? I really would rather this not happen like every time, but I do want to keep as much water as beaverly possible up in here. So of course I've got a maximum priority map maker plant reader.lemonade stand.display name here. Very important piece of kit. But for now we're just going to have to store the lemons in the little gatherer flag there. Because we don't have any sort of storage available elsewhere. We've got a tiny bit of kohlrabi storage. I mean, I could put lemons in. You know what? Lemon storage up there. It's happening. And we're not too far off a bit of metal either. That'll be a game changer once that's in. And we've got 462 kohlrabis. We've still got our 500 berries knocking the boots. 884 water. I think we're done alright. For our first Badtide in Cavey. And recovering from said Badtide. We are laughing right now. Now that doesn't mean we're not going to get a Badtide in a couple of days and be crying once again. But we're both going to have to wait until the next episode for that, aren't we, mate? And to see if this tree gets planted. Oh, big cliffhanger. Alright, toodles.